How's it going, guys? Quick impromptu video here. But I'm sitting here scrolling through Buffalo Boar's website, which I spend more time doing than I'd like to admit. But I can't help but notice they've got a 158 grain bullet here that's going 2153 FPS out of an 18-inch Marlin barrel, and that got me thinking about my 125 grain, 158 grain test video that I uploaded not too long ago. And if you haven't seen that, then go check that out. And if you remember in that video, we got good accuracy when the 125 grain got to the faster velocities, pretty much after like 2,000 feet per second. We didn't get there with the 158 grain, of course, but let me go get the papers. So here's the 125 grain. The groups started coming together as we got higher in the velocities. The exact opposite happened with the 158 grains. We got they just spread apart. So maybe we were in a node and started working our way out a node. And basically, I'm not saying that I can or should try to recreate Buffalo Boar's loads, but I think we should revisit the 158 grain and just try to get those numbers up a little bit more and see what happens. Alright, so the last time we did this with the 158 grain, we went from 15.5 grains to 17.5 in half grain increments. So this time we're going to work up from there, but not in half grain increments. We're going to go from 17.8 grains to 19 grains in 0.3 grain increments. So same powder, same primers. Going to be using some nickel coated brass this time for absolutely no reason. Let's do it. Start 3 years ago when I added 10% ethanol gasoline treated with fuel stabilizers. I also added a small amount of water. Here's a quick look at our powder charges going up. As you can see, there's still a lot of room in there. If we measure from the middle of the cantilever to the base of the bullet, we're looking at about 0.356. Here's the first charge of 17.8 grains, and we are not touching the powder yet with the base of the bullet. Here's the second charge of 18.1 grains, not touching the powder yet. Here is 18.4 grains, right about perfectly level with the powder. And 18.7, either perfectly level or just touching a couple granules of powder, so not really compressed. In the last charge, 19 grains, starting to touch the top granules of powder, so either not compressed or just barely slightly compressed. All in all, I think that looks really good, and I'm very happy that we're not really compressing charges here. So I'm going to be seating these to the middle of the cantilever so I can crimp into it, and when we get to the higher powder charges, see if there's any crunching going on. That looks good to me. Alright, so nothing exciting happened. I got through seating all these bullets and I didn't have any crunching or compressing going on. And I put a light roll crimp on them and we're good to go. Well, here's the brass. No stake extraction. They're all still rounded. Uh, Still no pressure. Alright, now to finally wrap up this 158 grain FP-XTP saga that I've accidentally created. This is the old target from the last video, and shot decent and then spread apart, and it kind of looked like we were leaving a node and maybe entering another one. And that's kind of what happened. Now keep in mind I switched to 10 shot groups here and shot a 1.5 inch and open up 2.4, 1.8, 2.1, started to close back up again 1.6. It's kind of just more of the same. I don't think this is the bullet for my gun, but out of everything we learned here, this is kind of interesting, where this is a 1.8 inch group, but it grouped really good, and we had these two flyers. And maybe it would be possible to tweak this a little bit and get rid of these flyers, but I'm more excited just to wrap this up and move on to other things. So, what do you guys think about some cutting edge bullets, 165 grain copper solids? I think it's time to work up a deep penetrating bare defense load for my revolver to carry when I'm hunting out in the mountains. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below.